Google Pixel 6 versus the Google Pixel 6a. Which one should you buy? Hey peeps, what's up? Munchie here, back with another video. And in this video, we're going to do a discussion about the Google Pixel 6 versus the Google Pixel 6a and which one should you buy. And I do hope that my video helps you make an educated decision as to which one is the best choice for you and which one is the best bang for your buck. So without any further delay, let us get started. And of course, the video is divided into chapters, and links to all the different chapters can be found in the description of this video. Let us start off with the design. So both the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6a have a similar pixel design language. As you can see, both of them have the camera bar, but the camera bar on the Pixel 6a is not as prominent as it is on the Google Pixel 6. Then if you have a look at the camera setup, right, both of them have like a normal and a wide angle, but on the Pixel 6a you will notice that this design here is something which is going to be on the upcoming Pixel 7. You do not have this another cylindrical shape around the camera lenses on the Google Pixel 6. And of course, the camera bar on the Pixel 6a is smaller than that what you have on the Google Pixel 6. With respect to your buttons and stuff, you have the same setups, right? So you have your power button, your volume rockers over here. The frame here is aluminium matte black on both these devices. The antenna band lines are almost at the same positions. On the bottom, again, you have your speaker grills, microphone grills, and you have your Type-C port. The 3.5 mm headphone jack is absent on both of these devices. On the other side, you have your antenna band, your physical SIM tray, and another antenna band over here. And on the top, you have two more antenna bands along with your noise cancelling microphone. Now in terms of the weight, the Pixel 6a over here is lighter at 178 grams, whereas the Pixel 6 is like 207 grams, and the in-hand feel of the Pixel 6a of course is more sleek. So if you want something which you can handle easily with one hand, then the Pixel 6a should be your choice. For the Google Pixel 6, you definitely need to use both your hands. Moving over to your water and dust resistance, the Pixel 6 here is IP68, the Pixel 6a is IP67. How do these two differ? Well, the only difference is that for the Google Pixel 6a, it can survive under up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes, and for the Google Pixel 6, it's going to be 1.5 meters of water up to 30 minutes, which means, if you are out and about and it rains, then both of these devices should be absolutely fine. With respect to your display protection and the back, so the Pixel 6a has Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, and on the back you have plastic. The Google Pixel 6 has Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and Gorilla Glass 5 on the back. But the advantage which the Pixel 6a has is that it has your anti-fingerprint coating on the back. Now, because of the color, the smudges are going to show up on this black one, but if you have, say, the green one or you have the white Pixel 6a, it should not be as bad as a fingerprint magnet as some other devices out there with plastic back. And of course, the feel on the Pixel 6a and the feel on the Pixel 6 is almost the same. If I were to hand you both of these devices, not tell you that this one is plastic and this one is glass, I'm pretty sure you will think that the Pixel 6a also has a glass back. So that is some really good stuff by Google. Moving over to the display. Now, the Pixel 6a here on the left hand side is a 6.1 inch panel. This is OLED and it can go up to a maximum of 60 Hertz. The Pixel 6 on the right hand side, this one here is a 6.4 inch display, FHD plus, and it can go up to 90 Hertz. And if you go into the settings for colors, both of these can switch between natural, boosted, and adaptive. That being said, both of these are 1080p panels, and the quality of the display is pretty comparable on both of them. The colors are good and vibrant, and there is no color shift, and the viewing angles are also pretty comparable. So if you want a device with, say, a one-handed device, a small display, the Pixel 6a should be your choice. If you want a bigger display but with some weight attached to it, then the Pixel 6 is for you. And before you tell me, hey Manchi, this Pixel 6 is 90 Hz, I wish the Pixel 6a was 90 Hz as well, while that statement is absolutely true, would you notice a difference between 60 and 90? In my personal opinion, the difference between 60 and 90 is not as much as compared to that between 60 and 120. So if you're like switching from a device which is running at 120, you come to a device with 60 hertz, yes, you will notice the difference. If you're going from 90 to 60, you will notice the difference, but not that much. The animations, you might notice a little bit of difference, but in my humble opinion, it shouldn't be that much of a issue, considering that the price difference between these two devices is almost $200 at the time of recording this video. Next thing we can talk about is the speaker quality and the vibration motor quality. So in both those situations, the Pixel 6 is any day better than the Google Pixel 6a. The 6a is not bad, but you can clearly notice the difference in the vibration motor quality. The 6 is definitely superior, and the 6a definitely, because of the price difference, the vibration motor is not as good. And then with respect to your stereo speakers, now both of these do have stereo speakers, but my personal experience is that the sound on the Pixel 6 from the stereo speakers is much more balanced and more refined. The one on the Google Pixel 6a, the sound at the maximum volume is like not as good. So if I were to use the Google Pixel 6a, I would never keep the speaker volume at maximum. I would keep it one step or two steps below, because at the maximum the speaker sounds pretty bad and tinny. So yes, the speakers on the Pixel 6 and the vibration motor on the Pixel 6 are any day better than that on the Google Pixel 6a. Next thing we can talk about is your battery backup and your charging capabilities. So the Pixel 6 here on the right hand side has a 4614 milliamp hour battery. It can charge at a maximum of 30 watts. However, tests have shown that the maximum it charges with Google's official 30-watt charger is 22 watts. However, it can go from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes, and the Pixel 6 also has wireless charging along with reverse wireless charging using the battery share option, so you can charge your Pixel Buds, your friends' iPhones. All of those things can be done on the Google Pixel 6, and this one easily gets me through a day. The Google Pixel 6a, on the other hand, because this is a smaller device, it also comes with a smaller battery of 4410 milliamp hours, which can charge at a maximum of 18 watts. Now, chargers are not included in the box for any of these devices. And the other downside of the Google Pixel 6a is that because it charges at 18 watts, it cannot go from 0 to 50 in 30 minutes. In fact, a full charge can take around 2 hours on the Google Pixel 6a. In today's age, you should have a device which can go from 0 to 50 in 30 minutes. So That is one of the downsides of the Google Pixel 6a. And if you ask me about battery backup, I haven't tested it enough, because for the Pixels you need to use them at least for a week. That is when the adaptive charging kicks in. It learns how you use your device, and then that is when you get the maximum battery performance and the maximum battery backup out of your device. But tests out there have shown that the Pixel 6a will last you through a day, but it is not going to last you through 1.5 or 2 days. So you will have to charge the Pixel 6a every night. Moving over to the camera section, the only difference between the cameras on both these devices is that the Pixel 6 has a primary 50 megapixel sensor. The Pixel 6a has that which has been on Pixel devices since the Google Pixel 2. Other than that, the wide angle, the front are exactly the same lenses on both of these devices. The only difference you will notice is that on the Pixel 6, the color tones are a bit warmer, and on the Pixel 6a, the color tones are a bit cooler. Now, this is in respect to your white balance. Also, the microphone while video recording is better on the Google Pixel 6. However, it is not that bad on the Google Pixel 6a. The other difference you will notice is in low light and night sight. So in low light and in night sight mode, the Pixel 6 is better than the Google Pixel 6a, and of course that is because of the fact that you have a primary 50 megapixel sensor on the Google Pixel 6, which can get in more light. The advantage for the Pixel 6a is that this is the same sensor from the Google Pixel 2, 3, 4, and 5, which means Google has already mastered this sensor. So your results are going to be pretty good. With respect to the 50 megapixel on the Pixel 6, Google is yet to master this sensor. So again, you have to choose between brand new sensor versus a sensor which has been mastered but is definitely old. Another thing about the camera which I would like to add is that in terms of your software features, the camera UI, everything is exactly the same for the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6a. So both of them have your magic eraser, your camouflage mode, camera UI, the other features, everything is exactly the same. Next up, let us talk about the fingerprint sensor. Now, the under display fingerprint sensor has been a pain area for Google ever since they introduced it with the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. And well, for the Pixel 6, this one here has the most unreliable fingerprint sensor, and there are times when it doesn't work. And it has been almost what, like 6 months since I've had this device. They have made some improvements, but they are not good enough. There are times when it misses for me. However, the Pixel 6a has its own issues with the under display fingerprint sensor. What is that issue? Well, here it is. Let us go into settings, and once in settings, we can go into security. And if I go into fingerprint unlock, you will notice that I have only one finger registered. However, that finger is my right thumb on my right hand. But if I try to unlock it with the pinky on my right hand, it unlocks with the pinky as well. So in my humble opinion, you have to decide which one you actually want. With the Pixel 6, they have made improvements over time, but it is not good enough. With the Pixel 6a, right now it unlocks with unregistered fingerprints. However, there is still hope that they can fix that with Android 13. But again, nobody can predict the future, and the issue on the 6a is not that widespread from what I know, but on the 6 there are a bunch of complaints on Reddit as well. Next thing we can talk about is the performance between the Google Pixel 6 and the Google Pixel 6a. So both of these are powered by Tensor Generation 1, which is your octa-core processor, Mali G78 GPU on both of these devices. The Pixel 6a is available only in 6 GB RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. The Pixel 6 has 8 GB and 128, and you can also buy the 256 GB variant as well. LPDDR5 across both the devices and UFS 3.1. Now, that would make you think that hey, the Pixel 6 has more RAM than the 6a, which means the Pixel 6 should perform better than the Pixel 6a. Well, truth be told, that might not be the case. So here on screen are the results for Geekbench, and as you can see, the Pixel 6a has a better single core score and a better multi-core score as well. Now, across all these tests, both the displays were at 60 Hz and the ambient temperature was around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. And that is for Geekbench. Next thing we can check is your Antutu benchmark scores. So here on screen are the Antutu benchmark scores, and again you can see that the Pixel 6a is performing better than the Google Pixel 6. But an important thing to note over here is that the temperature rise on the Pixel 6 was 8.1 and that on the Google Pixel 6a was 6.3, which is pretty surprising. Most surprising part for me was the CPU throttle test, and as you can see, the Tensor chip throttled like crazy. I mean, this is super disappointing. Have a look at the Google Pixel 6a and the throttling it had. The Google Pixel 6 did not have that much of throttle, but the important thing to note here is that the maximum GIPS for the Pixel 6a are more than that of the Google Pixel 6, and the same applies for your average performance. And super surprisingly, both of these devices got hot to hold along the edges, along the frame. The back was not that hot on the Google Pixel 6, but the 6a did have a hotter back. Now, the other thing which I think is causing these crazy drops in performance on the Google Pixel 6a is the fact that it has a plastic back. So my personal opinion is that the plastic back does not help with dissipation of heat, because all my tests which I was running was with the phone placed on the table. As soon as I picked up the 6a, it got some cooling effect. The bar went up and the throttling was not that bad, as you can see over here. So, I mean, the results are in front of you for you to judge. And other than that, I think the benchmark scores on the 6a are better than that of the 6 because it does have a smaller display and it has to push out less pixels. So what is the final take on the comparison between the Google Pixel 6a and the Google Pixel 6? Which one should you buy? In my personal opinion, if you want a device which is small, has a good enough camera, good enough to beat a lot of other devices out there in this price range of $450, then you should go for the Google Pixel 6a. The only downsides of this device are like the fingerprint scanner, which hopefully they fix with a software update, and the fact that it does run a bit hot. Other than that, you do not have reverse wireless charging and you are limited to only 128 GB of internal storage. But for the price, I think that is a good enough deal. And if you can grab this device for around 400 US dollars, that in my humble opinion is a no brainer. As for the Google Pixel 6, this one here has its own set of issues, but if you want say a 256 GB device and you want best pixel camera out there, then the Google Pixel 6 is for you. Again, for the price of $599, you will get your 128 GB, but if you want 256 GB internal storage, you will have to shell out a bit more, but you also get 8 GB of RAM, which apparently, as per our tests, is not making that much of a difference, and you also get 90 Hz display. But again, if you use 60 Hz, you will get used to it. 90 Hz should not be a deal breaker, considering that the price difference is almost 150 US dollars. And yes, you do get better low light performance from the Google Pixel 6, and you also have better microphones for video recording on the Google Pixel 6. But again, all those features on this Pixel 6a work absolutely fine. They are not super bad, just that the Pixel 6 has those features better than the Google Pixel 6a. And there it is, peeps. That was our comparison of Pixel 6 versus the Pixel 6a, and hope this video helps you make an educated guess as to which device you should buy. And that will do it for this one. Hope my video helped you. Likes, shares, and subscribes are appreciated. Feedback and comment more than welcome. See you when I see you.